Delays. Nakikita nyo ba yung PowerPoint?
Opo, sir.
Opo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Opo, sir.
Hindi po, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Sige,
Opo, sir.
Opo, sir.
sige, i-start ko na yung discussions ngayon. So our subject for today is object-oriented programming in Java. So, introduction. Welcome to the course Object-Oriented Programming in Java. This course will cover a core set of computer science concepts needed to create a modern software application using Java. So, ito yung mga objectives natin ngayon sa ating course. Wait lang, may mga nagjo-join pa. So, need natin i-identify yung importance ng Java and identify additional features of Java compared to C++. Then, identify the difference between compiler and interpreter. Identify the difference between applet and application. Apply object-oriented principles and encapsulations, data abstractions, inheritance, and polymorphism. Program using Java API. Program using exception handling, files and threads. Program using applets and swings. So, by the end of this course, dapat matuto na tayo na mag-program using Java language. Programming language. So, yan. Categories of programming languages. High-level programming languages and low-level programming languages. So, kumbaga hindi ko na kailangan explain yung yung differences ng dalawang categories. So, yung high-level at saka yung low-level. Examples ng mga high-level programming languages is yung Java, C, C++, Basic, at saka Fortran. So, sa low-level naman, yun yung mga yung mga programming language na na more on sa machine language. Sino pa nagjo-join? Ayan, so the program development life cycle. So, kailangan din natin itong matutunan sa course na to, yung program development life cycle. Since magre-require ako sa inyo na gumawa or mag-create ng isang Java program for our finals. Okay? So, problem definition is to create a program that will determine the number of times a name occurs in a list. Problem analysis. Usually, this step involves breaking up the problem into smaller and simpler sub-problems. So, kailangan lang, doon sa problem analysis, kailangan natin i-analyze yung mga nagiging problems doon sa sa gagawin nating program. So, the third is algorithm design and presentation. Yung dito gagawin yung yung flowchart kung paano magfa-function yung program. And then the fourth is the coding and then debugging. So doon na kayo mag-code ng Java program nyo and then debugging. Why is Java important? So there are two reasons na bakit important ang Java, no? So trouble with C and C++ language is that they are not portable and not platform independent languages. And emergence of World Wide Web which demanded portable programs. So, bakit daw Java, no? Kasi yung C++ at saka C language is dependent sa platform. So si Java kasi is hindi siya dependent sa platform. When we say platform is ito yung OS natin, yung Windows, Mac at saka Linux. So si Java is pwede siyang gumana sa all platforms. Then C++ at saka sa C language is dependent doon sa platforms na yon. So, and then also portability and security. Si Java is portable siya and more secure kaysa doon sa ibang programming languages. So, the history of Java is ang founder ng Java is si Mr. James Gosling. So, dati siyang Sun Microsystems. Then, ang co-founder niya is si Vinod Khosla. Then, ayun, so, yung Java ay na-discover or nagkaroon ng Java noong 1995. So, ito yung mga evolution ng Java. So, from 1996 up to 2011. So, marami nang naging versions ng Java. So, nag-i-evolve siya and nag-i-improve. Ayan, so ginagamit ang Java sa mga enterprise platforms. And yun, sa mga developments ng iba't ibang applications. So, job opportunity. Sa Java language gives a lot of job opportunity para sa mga IT students or sa mga IT professionals and as well as sa mga programmers, yung mga programmers. So, malaki ang offer ng Java pagdating sa industry. Usually, ang minimum na monthly niyan is monthly salary is from 30,000 hanggang umaabot pa siya ng 80,000. So, napakaraming job opportunity dito sa Java programming language. So, meron tayong 3 Java editions, no? So, Java Platform Standard Edition, Java Platform Enterprise Edition, at saka yung Micro Edition. So, tatlo yung editions na meron tayo for Java.
Sir, excuse me po, sir. May papasok daw po.
Sige, wait lang. Pause muna tayo saglit.
Nawalan daw po kasi net, sir.
So, ayan. What is Java? A general purpose, object-oriented language, programming language. So, write once, run anywhere. So, yun yung parang sa kanya, term sa kanya, tawag sa kanya, WORA. Write once, run anywhere. Designed for easy web internet applications and widespread acceptance. Kasi nga, widespread acceptance ang Java kasi yun nga hindi siya kumbaga dependent sa platform na ginagamit. So, kaya maraming tumatangkilik sa kanya or gumagamit sa programming language na yan kasi yun nga, hindi siya kahit sa ang platform gumagana siya. So, ito yung differences ng Java from C language. So, major difference is that C is a structure-oriented language and Java is an object-oriented language and has mechanism to define classes and objects. Java does not have preprocessor. So, we want to use define, include, if-def statements. So, si Java kasi meron siyang mga object-oriented language siya. So, meron siyang mga mechanisms na ginagamit doon sa programming language na yun na i-call out mo na lang. Unlike sa C na i-hardcode mo yung mga yung mga mga mechanisms na gusto mo mangyari doon sa program mo. So, si Java is meron siyang library and classes and objects. So, then compared to C++, si Java is wala siyang pointers to avoid unauthorized access of memory locations. Java does not include structures, union, enum data types. Java does not support operator overloading. Preprocessor plays less important in C++ and so eliminate entirely in Java. Java does not perform automatic type conversions that result in loss of precision. So, maraming differences si Java from C and C++. So, ayan. So, Java does not support global variables, does not allow default arguments. So, maraming differences. Ayan. Compared naman to Python programming language, familiar ba kayo with Python? Anyone familiar with Python?
Ako po, sir. Hindi.
Ayun, so
Nadinig lang, sir.
yan, Python kasi is hindi masyado siyang ginagamit eh. Bibihirain gumagamit ng Python pero usually ginagamit si Python sa microcontrollers. So ayan, compared kay Python, si Java is verbose, faster and more easy pero si Python mas madali kay Java. Pero si Java, madali pa rin si Java. Ayan. So, mas mabilis siya kaysa kay Python. Ayan. So, ito yung mga new features added sa Java. So, si Java ay nagsusupport ng multi-threading. So, pag sinabi mong multi-threading, pwede kang mag-execute ng multiple processes within the same program. So, kumbaga sa CPU, dual core, quad core, mga ganun, multi-threads. So, it adds packages and interfaces. So, merong mga packages si Java. Java supports automatic garbage collection, break and continue statements, and use of Unicode characters. Though C++ and Java supports Boolean data type, C++ takes any non-zero value as true and zero as false. Then Java has replaced the destructor function with a finalized function. So, si Java, pag tapos na yung program mo sa Java, ilalagay mo lang yung finalized na statement doon sa pinakahuli ng program para matapos yung execution. So, yan. Yan lang yung mga differences of C++ and from Java. Java is simple. Java is object-oriented, distributed, interpreted, robust, architecture neutral. So, ito nga yung sinasabi ko kanina na any platform or architecture is kaya niyang isupport si Java. Portable si Java. So, for example niyan is yung mga application sa ating Android. Portable. Ano pa? Multi-threaded, dynamic, and especially si Java ay secure. Secure amongst doon sa mga ibang programming languages. So, critical kay Java yung security. Java environment. Java includes many development tools, classes, and methods. Development tools are part of Java Development Kit, so-called JDK. And the classes and methods are part of Java Standard Library, also known as Application Program Interface or the API. JDK constitutes of tools like Java compiler, Java interpreter, and many. API includes hundreds of classes and methods grouped into several packages according to their functionality. So, yung API, pag sinabi mong API, parang collection siya or library siya ng mga classes and methods para sa na gagamitin mo para sa gagawin mong program using Java language. So, ito yung mga API available ni Java. So, for mobile application na API, cloud-based server, yan, web application. So, marami pang iba. Nagjo-join pa rin. So, Java is architecture neutral. So dito sa sa PowerPoint natin makikita natin sa pinakababa merong Windows, Linux and Mac OS. So, yan yung mga primary types of OS na alam natin, na ginagamit natin for everyday use. So, kung makikita nyo, lahat ng architecture na to is kaya niyang i-run yung Java. Kaya niyang i-execute yung program na Java. Write once, run anywhere. So, since ganun nga si Java na since architecture neutral siya, si Java is pwede mong i-run once na write mo na yung yung program mo, yung software mo, pwede mo siyang i-run sa any computer na capable ng Java. So, ganun siya flexible or kadaling gamitin. Unlike ng mga C++, 'di ba? May mga kailangan ka pang i-install muna or prerequisite or baka hindi pa supported ang C++ using sa Mac OS or ibang OS natin. Edit Plus for Java programming. So, etong Edit Plus na to is a software text editor. So, Edit Plus is a 32-bit text editor for Windows operating system. So, ayan, meron siyang mga tools na magagamit natin for writing a Java software. So, hindi lang naman ito yung yung text editor na pwede nating gamitin. Maraming ibang available text editors na pwedeng gamitin and wala naman akong ire-require sa inyo kung ano yung dapat gamitin. As long as nasa-serve nito yung purpose nyo ng software na makakatulong sa atin sa pag-write ng program, pwede nating gamitin yun. So, ayun, pwede kayong maghanap sa internet ng mga iba pang available editing software, text editor. So, ito yung interface ng Edit Plus. So, example lang yan for writing a Java program. So, ayan. So, sa final project natin, for the finals, siguro gagawin natin to na groupings, no? So, per section, kailangan nyo mag-group into 4 para sa ating final project. So, sa final project, kailangan nyo mag-create ng application, Android application using Java. So, ayan. After siguro ng ng class natin, mag-groupings na kayo. Per section to hindi siya collab ng lahat ng sections. So, dapat yung kagrupo mo is ka-section mo din. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so taga-apat.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So, taga-apat per group. Magbibigay ako ng instructions kung paano nyo isasubmit sa akin yung groupings nyo. Update na lang ako ulit sa page natin sa Facebook page. Ayan, so Yan lang ang i-discuss natin ngayon about Java. So, next na slide ko is kung papaano magsusulat or magbubuo ng program using Java language. Wait lang. Nakikita nyo ba?
Opo, sir.
Opo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Opo, sir. Kita po.
Opo, sir. Kita po.
Kita po, sir.
Opo, sir.
So, sige, proceed tayo. Any questions dun regarding Java language?
Wala po.
Okay, since wala, sige, proceed tayo. Wait. Ay, mali. Wait lang Mali pala to.
Sir, ask ko lang po yung, ano po ulit yung gagawin, sir? Sa finals po ba yun?
Oo, for final, for final, natin, requirements.
Sige po, sir. Salamat po.
Ayan, kita nyo?
Opo, sir. Kita po.
Opo, sir.
Opo.
Ayan, so proceed tayo. So, Java Basics. So, review lang muna natin yung yung kaninang slide, no? So, categories of programming languages, meron tayong high level and low level programming languages. So, ang difference lang nila is si high level programming languages is more user friendly. So, sila si Java, C language, C++, and many more. Tapos sa low level programming languages naman is more on similar sila sa machine languages. So yun nga yung mga 0101 lang yun eh. Kaya di natin maintindihan. So pag high level programming language, so human readable programming languages. So recap lang din natin yung program development life cycle. So, kailangan meron munang problem definition. Bago ka magbuo ng software, kailangan muna may problem definition. Alamin mo yung problem na kailangan mong i-address using the software. Problem analysis. Ano yung kailangan gawin para ma-solve yung problem na nakita mo. Then, algorithm design. Yun nga yung mga flowchart. Kung paano mo ilalagay na flowchart yung nakita mong dito, solution para sa problem. And then fourth is yung coding and debugging. So yun lang yung program development life cycle. So yan, so why is Java important? Then yung history lang naman yung ano natin, 'di ba? Yung tinakil natin kanina. So hindi naman masyadong kailangan yun sa pang araw-araw na buhay. Yan, so history ni Java. Okay, so meron tayong 3 Java editions. Standard edition, micro edition, and the enterprise edition. Then, some features of Java, meron siyang Java Virtual Machine, Garbage Collection, Code Security. No? Yan, so ito lang yung kanina eh. So, meron tayong definition of terms ngayon. Systems programs that are needed to keep all the hardware and software systems running together smoothly. Also, pag sinabi mong systems program is ito yung program na parang nagme-maintain ng lahat ng software systems. Kumbaga, parang manager siya ng lahat ng mga software systems. Application programs. So, ito yung ginagamit ng mga tao for their work or sa mga business nila or sa everyday activities nila. So, ito yung example nito is yung mga application or yung mga apps na ginagamit natin sa mga cellphones natin. Then, compilers. The computer understands only one language, machine language. So, machine language is the form of ones and zeros. Since it is highly impractical for people to create programs out of zeros and ones, there must be a way of translating or converting a language which we understand into machine language. For this purpose, there exist compilers. So, yung compilers is yung mga ginagamit natin for writing a program, 'di ba? Yung katulad ng Eclipse at saka ng ano pa bang ginagamit na compiler? So, yun yung example ng compilers.
NetBeans po.
Ayun, NetBeans. Sorry. NetBeans at saka Eclipse. Yan, compilers ang tawag sa kanila. Programming language. A programming language is a standardized communication technique for expressing instructions to a computer. So, when you say programming language, yan yung C, C++, Java, Python, Ruby and Rails, PHP. So, yun yung examples ng programming language. A bytecode is a special machine language that can be understood by the Java virtual machine. So, yun na yun. Class loader. Class loader is responsible for loading all classes needed for Java program. It adds security by separating the namespaces for the classes of the local file system from those that are imported from network resources. So, sa Java programming language, meron tayong tinatawag na mga class. So, para magamit natin yung class na yun or library, kailangan natin ng class loader. So, ayun. Yun lang naman yan. So, dito sa slides na to or sa PowerPoint na to, so ito yung goal natin, objectives. So, dapat pagkatapos nitong slides, marunong na tayong gumamit ng NetBeans. So, NetBeans lang yung di-discuss ko for this slide na compiler, no? So, identify Java comments. So, paano ba gumawa ng mga comments sa Java language? Statements and blocks, identifiers, keywords, literals, primitive data types, variables, and operators. So, yan yung itatackle natin for this PowerPoint. In this part of the lesson, we will be using NetBeans, which is an integrated development environment or IDE. An IDE is a programming environment integrated into a software application that provides a GUI builder, a text or code editor, a compiler and or interpreter, and a debugger. So, ang IDE is parang all-in-one siya na which is yung NetBeans nga yung sinasabi na nandun na lahat, merong code editor, merong compiler doon, meron siyang GUI builder. So all-in-one na siya na kailangan para makagawa ka ng isang program using Java language. So ito yung NetBeans. How to run NetBeans. So downloadable ang NetBeans sa online. Later on magbibigay ako ng link sa inyo kung paano ma-download yung NetBeans. So before na discuss ko naman sa inyo na kakailanganin natin ng laptop para sa pag-develop natin ng software sa course na to. So necessity ang laptop para masubukan natin kung paano mag-create ng program using Java language. So ito yung user interface ng NetBeans IDE. So yan, nandito rin yung steps kung paano mag-create ng project sa using NetBeans. So click on File, New Project, and then New Project dialog will appear. Tapos i-click nyo doon yung Java application, and next, pagkatapos is yung next button para mag-start kayo ng new project, no? Tapos after nun, new application dialog will appear. Click next. Tapos i-change nyo yung application location. So ito yung directory kung saan mo isa-save yung project na gagawin mo sa NetBeans. Then ayun, pwede ka na mag-create ng program mo. So in your program, before typing in your program, let us first describe the main window after creating the project. As shown below, NetBeans automatically creates the basic code for your Java program. You just add your own statements to the generated code. On the left side of the window, you can see a list of folders and files that NetBeans generated after creating the project. This can all be found in your My Java Programs folder, where you can set the project location. So ayan. So dito sa NetBeans, makikita mo rin kung meron siyang debug window. So makikita mo kung if may problem yung ginawa mong code. So nandiyan sa lower corner, lower part nung window. Makikita mo kung may error ba na doon sa code na ginawa mo sa NetBeans. Ayan, so pwede mo ring i-run dito sa NetBeans mismo yung program. So para ma-test mo yung kung gumagana ng maayos yung program mo. So yung slide na ginagamit natin is i-upload ko to sa LMS natin para ma-download nyo and makita nyo rin yung mga instructions na na andito para may ano kayo, may basis din kayo. Yan, so pagka tinry mo yung yung program, makikita mo yung output kung walang naging error yung ginawa mong program, makikita mo rin diyan sa debugging niya yung output, no? This is using NetBeans. So, dissecting my first Java program indicates the name of the class, which is hello. In Java, all code should be placed inside a class declaration. We do this by using the class keyword. In addition, the class uses an access specifier public, which indicates that our class is accessible to our classes from other packages. Packages are collections of classes. We will be covering packages and access specifiers later. So, ito yung initially makikita mo sa sa pag-create mo ng Java program. So, lagi siyang merong public class. Yung hello is yung magiging class mo. The next line, which contains a curly brace, indicates the start of a block. In this code, we place a curly brace at the next line after the class declaration. However, we can also place this next to the first line of our code, so we can actually write our codes as ganyan. So, kung doon sa sa class na kinreate mo sa Java is para mag-start ka ng coding mo, kailangan mo ng curly brace. So dito sa sa slide natin, pinapakita kung papaano mo pwedeng ilagay or gamitin yung curly brace, kung saan mo siya pwedeng ilagay. So meron tayong guidelines din dito sa PowerPoint. First, yung Java program should always end with the .java extension. So pag sinave mo siya, dapat ang file extension niya is .java. File names should match the name of your public class. For example, if the name of your public class is hello, you should save it in a file called hello.java. So hindi mo pwedeng pag nag-create ka ng public class, yun din dapat yung magiging file name niya pag sinave mo. So, hindi pwedeng yung class mo is hello, tapos ang name niya, pag sinave mo, file name niya, pag sinave mo is yung, halimbawa, yung pangalan mo na. So, dapat magkaparehas siya. Kasi kung hindi sila magkaparehas ng file name at saka ng public class, hindi gagana yung program. You should write comments on your code explaining what certain class does or what a certain method do. So, ayun, ugaliin natin sa programming natin na maglagay tayo ng mga comments. So, dati siguro dumaan na kayo sa HTML, no? So, meron din mga comments na ginagamit sa HTML para malaman natin kung anong part na ng ng webpage yung ginagawa natin. So, parang lang siya, mga palatandaan lang siya, yung comments. So, dapat ugaliin nating maglagay ng mga comments para yung codes na ginagawa natin is hindi tayo nalilito. Java comments are notes written to a code for documentation purposes. Those texts are not part of the program and does not affect the flow of the program. So, tulad nga ng sabi ko, mga siya, may mga palatandaan ka doon sa part ng program na sinusulat mo or ginagawa mo. So, mahalaga yung mga comments kasi doon mo rin ma-identify kung saang part ng code ka kailangan magbago or may tanggalin or may kailangan kang baguhin. Kasi makikita mo yan pag nag-error yan sa sa debugging. So makikita mo siya. Madali mong mahanap yung part nung code kung saan merong mali. So dito sa third special Java documents are used for generating an HTML document for your Java programs. You can create Java doc comments by starting the line with backslash asterisk asterisk and ending it with asterisk backslash. Like C-style comments, it can also span lines. It can also contain certain tags up to add more information to your comments, for example. So, ito yung example ng Java comment. So, dapat nagsa-start siya sa backslash, asterisk, asterisk, and then mag-e-end siya doon sa asterisk, backslash. So, yun. Kahit anong words ang ilagay mo dyan sa basta nakapaloob doon sa sa comment symbols natin, pwede mo siyang ilagay as a comment. So, dito na tayo sa statement. So, Java statement is one or more lines of code terminated by a semicolon. An example of a single statement is this one, system output, print line, hello world. Tapos, meron siyang semicolon sa dulo. So, ang tawag doon is a statement. No? So, next is a block. So, block is one or more statements bounded by an opening and closing curly braces that groups the statement as one unit. Block statements can be nested indefinitely. Any amount of white space is allowed. An example of a block is this. Yeah. So, makikita mo yung example ng isang block. So, sa isang block, merong multiple statements na nakalagay. So, para masabi mong block, isa siyang block, is kailangan mo siya ng curly braces. So, merong opening and closing. Understood? So, yun. Para masabi mo siya na isang block. So, maraming blocks ang pwede mong gawin sa program mo. And sa loob ng mga blocks na yon, maraming statements ka rin na pwedeng ilagay. So, yan. Yan ang pinagkaiba ng statements and blocks. So, guidelines. In creating a block, you can place the opening curly brace in line with the statement for example. So, ayan. Public static void main. Tapos yung curly brace is nandoon sa katabi niya. Nasa right niya. Right after nung public static main. No? Or, pwede mo rin ilagay siya sa ilalim, yung curly brace. So, may mga options ka para kung saan ilalagay yung curly brace. So, wala naman yung standard, pero, wala naman standard kung saan dapat, pero yan yung mga kung saan mo pwedeng ilagay yung curly braces. You should indent the next statements after the start of a block. For example, ito. So, pag nag-start ka ng block, yung curly brace mo, dapat yung statement mo is naka-indent doon sa, kung makikita nyo dito sa example, yung system out print line is na statement is naka-indent. Okay? So, pag hindi siya naka-indent, may error na naman na makikita yung NetBeans nyo pag nag-write kayo ng program. So, yan. Take note nyo lagi yan na dapat indented yung statement sa loob ng block. Java identifiers are tokens that represent names of variables, methods, classes, etc. Examples of identifiers are hello, main, system, out. Java identifiers are case sensitive. This means that the identifier hello is not the same as hello. Identifiers hello na small letter. So kahit pareha silang hello, pero since yung isa ay capital letter and small letter, magkaiba sila. Identifiers must begin with either a letter or underscore or a dollar sign. Letters may be lower or upper case. Subsequent characters may use numbers 0 to 9. Identifiers cannot use Java keywords like class, public, void, etc. We will discuss more about Java keywords later. So, mga keywords ay hindi mo pwedeng gamitan ng class, public, void. Yung mga yung mga identifiers mo. So kasi reserved kasi yung words na yan, yung class, public, and void. So mamaya i-discuss natin mga reserved words na hindi mo pwedeng gamitin sa paggawa mo ng program mo. Okay. For names of classes, capitalize the first letter of the class name. For example, of methods and variables, the first letter of the word should start with a small letter. So, ito yung mga guidelines or best practices para sa pag-create ng program or paggawa ng program para maiwasan yung mga pagkalito. Kasi pag nagawa ka ng program, marami kang mga tinatype dyan eh. So, ito yung mga best practices na sinasuggest para maiwasan yung pagkalito. In case of multi-word identifiers, use capital letters to indicate the start of the word except the first word. For example, char array, file number, class name. So, ayan yung mga examples na binibigay. Later on, pwede nyo namang tingnan ulit tong slides na to para maging guide nyo siya pag nagko-code na kayo. Keywords are predefined identifiers reserved by Java for a specific purpose. You cannot use keywords as names for your variables, classes, methods, etc. Here is a list of Java keywords. So ito yung mga keywords na hindi mo pwedeng gamitin sa coding or hindi mo pwedeng gamitin na gamitin as variable. Yung mga words na yan. So, yan yung mga reserved words. Kasi may mga kanya-kanyang gamit yung mga words na nandyan sa slide natin. So, ito yung, ang tawag dito is mga keywords. Then, dito naman tayo sa literals. So, literals are token that do not change or are constant. So, hindi siya nagbabago. The different types of literals in Java are integer literals, floating point literals, Boolean literals, character literals, and string literals. Integer literals come in different formats. So, merong decimal, hexadecimal, octal. Yan. In using integer literals in our program, we have to follow some special notations. Integer literals default to the data type int. So, meron tayong data types like int. An int is a signed 32-bit value. In some cases, you may wish to force integer literals to the data type long by appending the small letter L or capital letter L character. A long is a signed 64-bit value. We will cover more on data types later. So, ayan, merong integer literals na ginagamit sa Java language and default niya is 32-bit value. So para maging data type na long integer, kailangan ilalagay mo yung L character para ma-define mo siya as long. Floating point literals and Boolean literals. Boolean literals have only two values, true or false. So, ayan yung tinatawag na Boolean, true or false. True or false. Character literals. To use character literal, enclose the character in a single quote delimiter. For example, the letter A is represented as A. So, merong single quote siya, yung character na literal. So, ayan. Ganyan mo maire-represent yung letter A as a character literal. Then, string literals. Wait. Saan na yan? String literals represent multiple characters and are closed by double quotes. For example, is this, hello world. So, pag string literal siya, pag string is dapat double quote ang gagamitin. Okay? Pag character ang literal mo is single quote, single quote lang. Primitive data types. A Boolean data type represents two states, true or false. For example, is Boolean result equals true. Yan. Textual or character. Character data type, char, represents a single Unicode character. It must have a literal enclosed in single quotes. Yan. So, pag character dapat, may single quote lang ang gagamitin. So, although string is not a primitive data type, it is a class. So, pag ang string ay hindi siya primitive data type pala. We will just introduce string in this section. A string represents data type that contains multiple characters. It is not a primitive data type. It is a class. So, dapat naka-enclose ang string with double quotes. And para ma-represent mo siya as string. Integral data type in Java uses three forms: decimal, octal, and hexadecimal. So the decimal value is 2. So ito yung examples ng decimal, octal, and hexadecimal. So yung octal is merong leading zeros. So let's say, yun nga, for example, is yung 077. So, kung may leading zero yan, ibig sabihin, siya is octal. And then, the hexadecimal is yung may pinagsamang numbers and letters. Hexadecimal value. So, ito yung pagkakaiba-iba ng data types. Yan. So, a byte has 8 bits. A short, name of or type. Short has 16 bits. Integer has 32 bits. And long has 64 bits. So, yung pinagkakaiba na yan, meron siyang may sukat siya by bit by bit. So, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Then, yan mga primitive data types. So, yan lang yung, kumbaga, mga pinagkaiba nila. Floating point types has double as default data type. Floating point literal includes either a decimal point or one of the following. E or E. So, yung E is mag-add ng exponential value. Yung F is for float and D is for double. So, yan yung mga ginagamit para ma-identify mo yung mga float and double. So, a float has 32 bits and double has 64 bits. Yan, dito naman tayo sa variables. A variable has data type and a name. Data type indicates the type of value that variable can hold. The variable name must follow rules for identifiers. Declaring and initializing variables is as follows. So, kailangan muna nating i-define yung data type para if magde-declare tayo ng variable sa coding natin, kailangan muna natin i-declare yung data type and then yung name or yung ipapangalan natin sa variable natin. Kumbaga yung pinaka placeholder nung variable na gagamitin natin. And then, ilalagay natin doon yung kung ano yung initial value. So, it is always good to initialize your variable as you declare them. Use descriptive names for your variables. Like, for example, if you want to have a variable that contains a grade for student, name it as grade and not just some random letters you choose. Declare one variable per line of code. For example, yan. So, ito yung pag magde-declare tayo ng multiple variables, so dapat one variable per line. Yun yung sinasuggest na sa ating coding para hindi nakakalito, no? Yan. Instead of na yung variables natin is magkakadikit tulad nung nasa pinakailalim, so mas suggested na yung variables natin is nakasunod-sunod per line. So, dito sa example natin ng variable is, dineclare muna yung data type which is double. Then, yung exam is yung name. Name ng variable. Then, kasunod nun is yung value ng variable. So, exam 0. Quiz 10. Grade 0. Pare-para sila ng data type. Here is an example of program that declares and initializes some variable. So, makikita natin dito sa sample code natin kung paano mag-declare ng variables. So, ang rule is data type and then yung name ng variable. So, dito sa una is Boolean result. Then, sa sumunod na example is char or character data type option. Option is equal to C. So, in-initialize niya yung value ng option which is C. Then, dito sa isa pang example is yung grade. So, double data type grade equals 0.0. Outputting variable data. So, in order to output the value of a certain variable, we can use the following commands. So, system.out.println. Tapos, may parenthesis. Or, yung isa pang example, system.out.print then parenthesis. So, yun yung paraan kung paano mo mai-output yung variables na dinefine mo. Diba? So, yan. Nandyan yung dalawang example. So, dito sa sample program natin, makikita natin yung so, nag-initialize ng variable. So, meron tayong data type int value equals to 10. And then, data type character equals is x, no? Then x is a. So naka-define yung value nila. Then sa susunod na statement is pinrint line nila yung value, yung variable value. So ang magiging output ng program is nandito sa pinakababa ng slide, 10. So ang result nitong system.out.println value is 10. Then the result naman ng system.out.println, the value of x is plus x.
Bakit pa mag-aabot? Alam na
So yan yung magiging result nung program na nandito sa example natin. So we will now differentiate the two types of variable that Java programs have. These are reference variables and primitive variables. Primitive variables are variables with primitive data types. They store data in the actual memory location of where the variable is. Reference variable are variables that store the address in the memory location. It points to another memory location of class where the actual data is. When you declare the variable of the certain class, you are actually declaring the reference value to the object with the certain class. So, ano lang naman to, kumbaga kung saan nakastore yung mga variables na dinedeclare natin. So, may mga pagkakaiba lang, pero kumbaga nasa backend na yung pagkakaiba. So, kung saan lang sila ini-store. So, ayan. So, dito na tayo sa operators. Okay. Nandiyan pa ba kayo? Nakikinig pa ba?
Opo, sir.
Nandito po po, sir.
Opo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ayan.
Yes, sir.
Medyo nakakapagod magsalita eh. Okay,
Buhay
so,
pa naman, sir.
buhay pa, kaya pa.
Kaya pa, sir. Opo.
Nag-iingalo na, sir.
Okay, wait lang.
Ano po naman, sir?
Sumasakit lang.
Inom muna ako tubig.
Sir, ang sakit ng tiyan.
Sakit din tiyan ko eh. Nagugutom na rin ako eh. Pwede naman kayo kumain habang nakikinig sa akin.
Sir, kanina pa, sir. Gutom na ako, sir.
Pwede naman kayo kumain habang nakikinig.
Ang sakit po yung tiyan ko.
Pero syempre ako, hindi naman ako pwedeng kumain habang nagsasalita.
Clip mo, Jing.
Na lang, guys.
May ng fishball,
Gago ko
sir.
din.
So sige, yung
Hindi po sa'yo nagtatrabaho sa Dal.
Fishball.
mga kumakain dyan, ikain nyo na lang muna ako. Sige, yung mga nagugutom, kumain kayo habang nakikinig.
Naisusus.
Lagi po sa'yo
Luto na ako, sir.
Okay, sige, proceed tayo, no?
Kumain ako.
So, dito na tayo sa operators. So, in Java, there are
Give order.
different types of operators. There are arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, and conditional operators. These operators follow a certain kind of precedence so that the compiler will know which operator to evaluate first in case multiple operators are in one statement. So, ang daming operators na word doon, medyo nakakalito. So, ayun, madali lang naman itong mga operators na to. So, itatakan natin sila isa't isa. So, first dito is yung arithmetic operators. So here are the basic arithmetic operators that can be used in creating your Java programs. So yung plus sign, asterisk, and yung backslash which stands for the division, and yung percentage, and the minus sign. So plus sign given na, so ginagamit siya for addition. Yung asterisk ginagamit for multiplication, division yung yung backslash, yung percentage is yung percentage sign ginagamit siya to compute the remainder of dividing two numbers. So one for example 2 divided by 1, wala namang remainder yon. So ang niya is 0 pag ginamit mo yung percentage sign. Okay? Then last one is yung minus or yung subtraction. So yan yung mga arithmetic operators used in Java. So ayan, meron tayong sample program dito for the arithmetic operations. Ayan, so makikita natin yung hindi ko na masyadong i-discuss to para kasi baka kukulangan tayo ng oras. So tingnan nyo na lang mabuti pag na-send ko na yung tag ito, yung slides. So makikita nyo dito yung dineclare na variables, yung values ng dineclare na variables. Ayan, so may 37, 42, double na 27.475, merong 7.22. So, ayan, tinest lang yung mga dito, yung arithmetic operators based doon sa mga variables na binigay. So, ayan, i-view nyo na lang later para makita nyo kung paano siya na gumagana or ayan. So, ayan yung output ng program based doon sa variables na dineclare. So, may note dito, when an integer and a floating point number are used as operand to single arithmetic operations, the result is floating point. So, pag ginamit mo yung integer at saka floating point number, ang magiging result niya is float pa rin. So, hindi siya magiging integer lang. The integer is implicitly converted to a floating point number before the operation takes place. Ayan. So, next is yung increment and decrement operators. Aside from basic arithmetic operators, Java also uses a unary increment operators and decrement operator. Increment and decrement operators increase and decrease the value stored in a number variable by 1. So, familiar naman siguro tayo dito sa mga increment
Yes,
and
sir.
decrement. So, same lang din sa C++, ganyan yung ginagamit. Yung pag-increment, double plus sign, and decrement, double minus sign. So, ayan, dito sa Java language, so merong dalawang procedure kung paano mo gagamitin yung increment and decrement. So, ayan, dito sa unang example natin, op plus plus. So, yung increment natin is after nung variable. Nilagay siya after nung variable. So, ang mangyari dito, ang gagawin niya is, it will evaluate to the value of op before it was incremented. Then, yung isa naman is yung plus plus, tapos yung variable. So, nauna yung incrementation bago yung variable. So, mangyayari nito, i-evaluate niya to the value of op after it was incremented. So, before and after lang yung yung pinagkaiba. So, dito sa example sa sa baba, the increment and decrement operators can be placed before and after an operand. when used before an operand, it causes the variable to be incremented or decremented by 1. Yan. So, sa example dito sa ibaba, ang ginamit is nauna yung increment doon sa sa variable. So, ang result niya is k is increment j plus I. So, naging 4 plus 10. Sorry. Gets nyo? So, yung j, initial value niya is 3. Pero since yung operators natin is nauna doon sa variable na j, yan no, yun dito sa pinakailalim. So, plus plus j. So, ang in-evaluate ng Java program is yung value niya after incrementation. Kaya ang dito dun sa result, makikita nyo 4 plus 10. So, instead na 3, since nandun siya, yung increment natin is nauna dun sa variable, naging 4 na kaagad yung value niya. Gets? So, dito naman sa next example, yung increment is after nung variable j. So, ang result nito is magiging 3 plus 10. 3 yung, nagstay sa 3 yung value nung variable kasi yung increment natin is nandun sa nilagay after nung variable. So, ayun lang yung difference nung dalawa. Before and after. So, relational operators, dito na tayo. Compare two values and determines the relationship between those values. The output of evaluation are Boolean values, true or false. So, pag gumamit ka ng operators, ang magiging result niyan is Boolean, which is true or false. So, ayan, familiar naman tayo dito sa mga operator, no? So, greater than, less than, or equal to. Then, meron tayong less than or equal to. Meron tayong equal. So, dalawang equal sign yung ginamit para mai-compare mo yung dalawang values. And meron tayong not equal. So, ginagamitan siya ng exclamation point and isang equal sign. So, yan yung mga ginagamit na operators, relational operators na. So, ayun, dito may example din ng ng output. So, sabi nga kanina, 'di ba, pag gumamit ka ng operators na 'to, ang magiging output niya is Boolean. So, true or false. Yan. Hindi ko na iisa-isahin. So, next is the logical operators. So, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Meron tayong 6 types or kinds of logical operators. Meron tayong logical and, Boolean logical and, logical or, Boolean logical inclusive or, so Boolean logical exclusive or. So, dalawa yung Boolean logical or. Meron inclusive at saka exclusive. And yung isa is logical not. Ayan, takal natin isa-isa. Ang hirap nito. Medyo nakakalito siya pero ayun, I would suggest na after ng discussion natin, tingnan nyo ulit yung yung PowerPoint. And ayun, para mai-compare nyo sila isa-isa. Here is the truth table for logical and Boolean logical and. So, wait lang ah.
Take your time, sir.
Pahinga ka muna, sir.
So pag ginagamit itong logical operators, 'di ba? Parang nagko-compare ka ng dalawang values or ng dalawang variables. Okay? So pag kinompare mo yung isang true and isang true, ang result niya is true. So pag kinompare mo yung isang true value at saka isang false value, ang result niya is magiging false. Okay? So, isang false value and true value, result is false. And then, last, dalawang false value is equals to false. Medyo parang nakakalito, di ba? Pero kung i-analyze nyo yung table, so, yung x1 and x2 is yung dalawang value. So, pag dalawang true value yung nagsama or kinompare, ang result niya is true. Pag magkaiba, true and false, false ang result. Pag false and true, false pa rin yun kasi magkaiba sila. Then, pag dalawang false, false pa rin ang result. Okay? Yun. Medyo nakakalito lang pero kung i-analyze natin, hindi ka malilito. Basic difference between logical AND and Boolean logical AND operators is that logical AND supports short circuit evaluation or partial evaluation while Boolean logical AND does not. And logical AND will evaluate the expression 1 and immediately return a false value if expression 1 is false. If expression 1 is false, the operator never evaluates expression 2 because the result of the operator will be false regardless of the value of expression 2. In contrast, the Boolean logical AND operator will always evaluate both expression before returning an answer. So, yung logical AND, yung dalawang AND na sign is pag false yung, 'di ba may dalawang expression. So, expression 1 tapos AND expression 2. So, if expression 1 is false, hindi niya na titingnan yung expression 2. Yun yung gagawin ng logical AND. So, kung false yung value nitong expression 1, i-disregard nyo ng expression 2. Pero dito sa Boolean logical AND, expression 1, kung false man yan, titingnan niya pa rin yung expression 2 kung true or false. Gets? So, parang yung logical AND is pag once na evaluate niya na yung isa, yung naunang expression, kung false siya, hindi niya na itutuloy dun sa second expression. Pero kung true yung result ng expression 1, magpo-proceed siya doon sa expression 2. Gets nyo ba? Nakakalito?
Yes, sir.
Gets? Yes na lang.
Ano, sir?
Nakakapatid, sir.
So, ganito yan. Parang ganito yan. Sige, anuhin natin. Gamitin natin yung layman's term. So, yung logical AND, yung dalawang AND sign, so, ganito ang gagawin niya. Pag tinanong kita na, kumain ka na ba? Pag sinabi mo oo, which is true, yung result, yun yung expression man. Kumain ka na ba? Oo. So, true yung result, di ba? So, si logical AND, ang gagawin niya, magtatanong pa siya. Tatanungin niya pa ulit, anong ulam mo? So, yon. Si Boolean end, yung isang end lang, ang gagawin niya, kumain ka na ba? Pag sinabi mo, hindi pa. So, false yung result, diba? So, although false yung result nung tanong mo na kumain ka na ba, si Boolean logical end, tatanungin niya pa rin kung anong ulam mo. Kahit hindi pa kumain. Gets?
Yes, sir.
Naintindihan ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Opo,
so,
sir.
ayun, so, sana naintindihan nyo. Nakakalito eh, pero, yun. So, ganun yung pinagkaiba ng Boolean logical end at saka logical end. So, dito naman tayo sa logical or at Boolean logical or inclusive. Ay!
Kain ka muna, sir.
Sige, kaya ko
Sir,
pa to.
kain.
Diet ako.
Kaya ko po yung date ako. May PE ba ngayon?
Kaya mo yan, sir.
Sige, kakayanin. So, ayan, tingnan nyo na lang ulit mamaya tong table na to. Dito tayo sa explanation. So, the basic difference between the logical or and Boolean logical or operators is that logical or supports short-circuit evaluations or partial evaluation, while Boolean logical or does not. So, yan. So, logical or will evaluate the expression 1 and immediately return a true value is if expression 1 is true. If expression 1 is true, the operator never evaluates the expression 2 because the result of the operator will be true regardless of the value of expression 2. So parang katulad lang siya nung end. So pag true na yung pag true na yung result, hindi pala siya katulad, opposite naman siya. So kung true na yung result, hindi niya na nung expression 1, hindi niya na ine-evaluate yung expression 2. So kung tinanong ko na kumain ka na ba, sagot mo oo, hindi na kita tatanungin ng anong ulam mo. So, ayun. So, kabaliktaran naman siya ng end. Okay? So, in contrast, yes.
Wala, okay.
Okay. In contrast, the Boolean logical or operator always evaluates both expression 1 and expression 2 before returning an answer. So, yung naman, Boolean logical or na inclusive is parehas siyang ine-evaluate or parehas tinitingnan niya. So, tatanungin kita kung kumain ka na ba at kung anong ulam mo. Regardless kung anong sagot mo, kung kumain ka na ba, oo or hindi, tatanungin pa rin kita kung anong ulam mo. Gets? So, ayun. Isipin nyo na lang. So, ito yung sample program, sample code, sample block using logical OR and Boolean logical OR. So, hindi ko na masyadong i-elaborate kasi baka maulol tayong lahat. Ayan. So, pero i-exam or tingnan nyo na lang, examine nyo na lang pag na-download nyo na yung file para makita nyo rin yung differences nung dalawa. Okay? Oh. Okay, meron pang Boolean logical exclusive OR. The result of an exclusive OR operation is true If and only one operand is true and the other is false, note that both operands must always be evaluated in order to calculate the result of an exclusive OR. Sana yun? Yan. So, ayan. Tingnan nyo na lang din dito yung ano, yung sample na ano na block using Boolean logical exclusive OR. Logical NOT. Logical NOT takes in one argument, wherein the argument can be an expression, variable, or constant. Here is the truth table. So, ayan. So, kabaliktaran. Logical NOT. True, false, false equals true. Okay, Boolean value 1 equals true. So dito sa example, inano nila, tag dito, gumawa siya ng variable na val1 at saka val2. So yung variable val1 is equals to true and val2 is equals to false. Nung in-output na yung value of val1, logical NOT, ang sagot niya is false. Ang output niya is false. Even though true yung in-initialize nyo. So, parang kabaliktaran lang siya. Logical NOT. Kabaliktaran nung value na nilagay mo sa isang variable. Conditional operator. So, it's a question mark. Conditional operator, question mark, and colon is a ternary operator. This means that it takes three arguments that together form a conditional expression. The structure of an expression using a conditional operator is this one. Okay? Expression 1, question mark, expression 2, colon, and then expression 3. So makikita natin dito sa sa example natin na isang block. So string status is empty, no? Walang nakalagay. String siya. So tapos may dineclare din tayo na isang variable na int grade is equal to 80. So status is equal to grade is greater than or equal to 60. So, parang tinatanong niya, yun yung expression 1. Is grade greater than or equal to 60? If passed, if yes, ang magiging, tama ba? Wait. Tama. If true, ang ibibigay niya is yung expression 2, which is nakalagay yung past. If false, ang sagot doon sa expression 1, ibibigay niyo yung expression 3, which is yung fail na string value. Nagigas niyo ba?
Hindi masyado, sir.
So, parang ang dyan, yung pinapakita dito sa, tingin kayo dito sa get status of student, di ba? Status is equals to, so parang yung grade is greater than or equal to 60 is yun yung tanong niya. Yun yung initial tanong niya na oo o hindi. So, balik natin yung tanong ko, kumain ka na ba? Yun. So, kung oo, ang ibabato niya na result is yung expression 2. Gets? Ang expression 2 is nakalagay doon yung past. So, kung hindi, or kung false yung sagot doon sa tanong, ang bibigay niya is yung expression 3. Nagigets ba?
Opo, sir.
So parang namimili lang siya ng isasagot doon sa sa expression 2 and expression 3. Then yung expression 1 is yun yung tanong. So kung true or false yun, kung true, expression 2 ang ibibigay. Kung false, expression 3. Okay? So, yun lang yun. Medyo nakakalito pero kung i-examine mo yung code, yun yung result niya. So, ayan yung flowchart. Nagpapakahirap pa ako dito. Where is the flowchart? Here is the flowchart and ito yung gumagana. So, nagtanong siya, in-initialize natin dun sa program, di ba? Grade is 80. Yun yung value ng grade niya. So, tinanong niya dito sa sa expression, is grade greater than or equal to 60? If yes, ang ipiprint niya is yung expression 2. And if no, ang ipiprint niya is yung expression 3. So, yan. Madali lang siya. Conditional operator. Here is another program that uses the question mark colon operator. So, score is equal to A. Int score is 0. And character answer is A. Score is equal to answer is equal to A. If yes, 10. If no, 0. So, ang 0 ba ay equal to A? Yan, nasa na? So, yes. Ang output is 10. Okay? Yan. Operational precedence. So, dito sa sa topic na to ng operational precedence is if ever meron kayong mga kumbaga magkakasunod na operation is ito dapat yung pagkakasunod-sunod niya. The following is the list of Java operators from highest to lowest precedence. So, hindi pwedeng yung yung isa is kumbaga mauunahan ng isang operator yung isa pa. So, yan yung tamang pagkakasunod-sunod dapat. Kumbaga sa math, meron 'di ba tayong MDAS na rule. So, ganyan din sa pag-write ng code sa Java. If ever meron kayong sobrang habang expression, yan dapat yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng operators na gagamitin. So, siguro naman hindi tayo gagawa ng gantong ka-complicated na expression sa paggawa ng program natin. So, pero ayun, kailangan pa rin nating malaman na meron dapat pagkakasunod-sunod yan sa paggamit ng mga operators. Okay, may exercise and laboratory activity. Okay, so meron tayong gagawing exercises, no? Given the table sa unang exercise natin, given the table below, declare the following variables with the corresponding data types. And initialization values. Output to screen the variable names together with the Then the following should be expected. Screen output. Okay, wala naman tong exercises na to masyado. So, ayan, meron tayong laboratory activity. So, I need you to create a Java program that will display average of the students in a semester. So, ayan. Tong laboratory program na to, activity na to is individual ha. Individual nyo i-submit sa akin. So, magki-create kayo ng Java program using NetBeans. No? So, yan. Itong slide na to, itong PowerPoint na to, magagamit nyo itong kailangan nyo i-download para may guide kayo sa paggawa ng program nyo. So, this will be your first Java program na gagawin. So, kailangan mong i-display yung average of a student in a semester. The student normally has 3 quizzes, homework, and 1 major examination. Quizzes is 40%, homework is 10%, and major exam is 50% of overall grade. A semester is composed of prelim period, midterm, and final period. Compute the average and letter equivalent of each period. Indicate if the student passed or failed using conditional statement. Yung kanina, yung question mark and colon. So, yun yung gagamitin nyo. To get the passing score of 75%, compute the following. Prelim and midterm period is 30% of total grade, while 40% for the final period. Use letter equivalent standard in a new format of your grading system. Print the student name, student number, course age, and final grade in numeric and letter equivalent in the final output. Organize the display output utilized by method to get the results. So, isasubmit nyo itong program na gagawin nyo in Java format.
Sir,
Mm.
paano po yung mga walang laptop?
Yung walang laptop. Ayun, so, pwede nyo sigurong itry to sa sa ibang, yung mobile app na, tawag dito, yung sinuggest nung last time na mobile app, Java and,
Hindi pala
Java
siya
hindi,
pwede.
sir.
yung Java
Hindi.
and IDE, oo. So, pwede nyo sigurong itry muna dito sa mga walang laptop na
Wait
gawin
po,
yun.
sir.
Oo. So, itong activity 1 natin is ipopost ko sa groups. Then, ayun, yung submission ng activity is naandito sa baba. So, merong mga Google kayo, 'di ba? Google accounts. So sa
Sir,
Google,
1 week ulit yan, sir.
ha?
1 week po.
Oo, until next week naman to eh. So matagal-tagal yung kasi weekly lang naman yung natin, meetings natin.
Sir, walang example po yun. Late na kasi akong naka-attend ng lesson eh.
Later on yung discussion is i-upload ko sa YouTube. Then yung PowerPoint na ginagamit ko is ilalagay ko sa LMS para ma-download ninyo para may kayo. May kumaga may mababasa ulit kayo sa sa mga late nang naka-attend or sa mga iba din na hindi naka-attend. Okay? So, ayan, recorded naman tong natin, tong meeting natin. Ayan.
Naka-Java na yan, sir, pagpapasa.
Oo, naka-Java format na.
Yung mismong Java file na, sir, ipapasa sa inyo.
Oo. Tsaka kasama yung yung folder na kung meron.
Yung folder, sige po, sir.
So, ito yung instructions para sa sa pagpasa nyo, no? So, sa Google Drive nyo, Google Drive account nyo, magki-create kayo ng folder, new folder. So, nandyan yung format ng folder. So, last name plus first letter of your name at saka yung middle initial nyo. Then course, BSIT, then year end section. So ilalagay nyo dyan. Yan yung magiging format all capital letters yan ha. Yan yung magiging format ng folder na gagawin nyo sa Google Drive. Okay? And then, yung NetBeans na ano nyo, na or yung Java file nyo is, ayan yung gagawin yung file name. So, almost same lang din. Tapos, katulad ng format na binigay ko. Tapos, yung year section, lab 1 ang nakalagay. In small letters. Okay? So, i-upload nyo yung yung NetBeans project folder nyo, saka notepad nung code na ginawa nyo sa Google Drive folder na ginawa nyo. And then, yung Google Drive folder na yon i-share nyo dito sa email address na nakalagay sa instructions. Okay, so itong dalawang slide na to, yung activity, laboratory activity, yung instructions nung gagawing program, and as well as the instructions dun sa pagpapasa nyo using Google Drive is ipopost ko sa sa Facebook page natin, Facebook group natin para makita ng lahat. Okay?
Okay po.
Okay ba? Ayun. So almost 7 na, hindi ko napapatagalin yung gutom ko at gutom nyo.
Yun.
Okay, may mga questions ba kayo?
Wala naman po.
Sir, paano po yung mga walang LMS?
Yung mga walang LMS, yung file pwede nyo namang i-share yung yung sa mga classmates nyo. So, yung mga students na wala pa sa LMS, tatry ko i-add ko kayo ngayon or bukas. Pero kung mayroon kasi mga student kasi na wala talagang access sa LMS no. So yung iba kasi pwede kong i-enroll na ulit. Yung iba hindi ko naman ma-enroll kasi wala sila sa database. Pero yung mga ganong kung hindi man kayo wala pa kayo sa LMS, pwede naman kayong humingi na lang muna ng copy sa classmate nyo. Madali na lang yun ipasa once na download. So ayan. Hindi lang naman sa LMS pwedeng ma-download siya. Okay? Hingin na lang kayo ng copy.
Thank you po, sir. Thank you po.
Sir,
Yes.
ano po ulit yung sa ipapasa na Google Drive? Ano po yung laman nun?
Yung laman ng Google Drive is yung project file nyo na yung kinode nyo na na program.
Naka-folder, sir?
Yung
o
mismong
like
code
yung
po,
file?
sir.
Hindi, yung .java file.
Kumbaga, sir, kunyari yung code po, namin sa notepad, tapos save namin siya, gamit yung
Oo.
Java.
Oo, sa NetBeans kasi 'di ba, pinakita din naman dito sa slide na to, sa PowerPoint na to, kung paano mag-create ng project sa NetBeans. Tapos kung paano mag-save, 'di ba? Na-mention ko kanina na dapat yung file name is parehas ng name ng class mo. And then, isi-save mo siya as .java format. So, kailangan ko yung file na yon, NetBeans, yung .java file format, as well as yung notepad nung mismong code na ginawa mo.
Okay po, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so,
Sir, may tanong po.
yes, question.
Yung Google Drive ko po kasi, sir, may laman po kasi siya mga personal files, sir.
Okay. Ganito. Yung folder lang ang isi-share mo sa akin, hindi yung buong Google Drive mo.
Okay.
Okay? Yung
Okay po, sir.
folder lang na kinreate mo for this, yung tulad nung nandun sa instructions ko.
Opo,
Yun
sir. May
lang
mga
mismong
picture
folder
po kasi yun, sir, yung Google Drive ko po.
Oh yes, hindi naman yun yung isi-share mo eh. Yung folder
Okay
lang
po.
na kinreate mo.
Okay po, sir.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Any other questions?
Sir, kailan po deadline, sir? Kailan po deadline, sir?
Submission nito is next meeting natin, which is Thursday. Every Thursday tayo Thursday 4 to 7 p.m.
Sige po, sir.
Okay, so yun, deadline of submission is until Thursday.
Sir, last na, sir.
Yes, yun pa.
Yung Google Drive ko lang po kasi sa share Share folder, sir. Workspace po ba gagawin, sir?
Di ba sa Google Drive pwede ka mag-create ng new folder?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Pag create mo ng new folder na yon, i-rename mo doon sa format na hinihingi ko. With
Yes, sir.
all capital letters. Tapos, yung folder na yon, i-right click mo, i-share mo doon sa email address na binigay ko.
Okay, copy, sir.
So,
Thank you.
ganun lang yung procedure para ma-share mo yung folder. Isang folder lang naman yung i-share mo.
Sir, ipapakita niyo po ba yung output ng activity 1?
Activity 1. Yes, ipapakita.
Sige po, sir. Thank you po.
Sige. Ayan. Any other questions? Wala na? Wala na.
Okay na, sir.
Okay, sige.
Thank you, sir.
So, dismiss ko na yung class natin. So, pasensya na kasi kanina natagalan tayo sa bago mag-start, no? So, siguro next time Google Meet na lang talaga yung gagamitin ko. Dalawang Google Meetings yung ihahanda ko every every meetings natin. Then ayan, para madali yung yung pag-start natin ng class.
Attendance. Attendance po.
Like katulad ng sinabi ko last meeting, hindi naman ako mag-ano ng attendance, hindi ako magigipit sa attendance. Pero ayun, mas maganda pa rin na-attend kayo ng ng meetings natin para kasi yung iba din nagtatrabaho 'di ba? So considerable naman yung mga nagtatrabaho. Minsan syempre hindi rin natin maiwasan yung iba, kunyari wala nang pang-load, 'di ba? So hindi ko naman pwedeng i-mark as absent siya dahil wala na siyang pang-load at hindi siya naka-attend. Pero ayun, ang gagawin ko is ire-record ko yung per meetings natin, i-upload ko sa YouTube or sa kung ano mang i-upload ko. Then para may basis pa rin kayo ng discussion na pwede nyong panoorin pa rin dun sa mga hindi naka-attend or yung mga na-late ng attend. So ayun, i-upload ko yung mag-update pa rin ako sa group natin. So, doon ako magbibigay ng updates. Okay?
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, sige. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Then,
Salamat, sir.
see you
Salamat din po, sir.
meet you
Salamat,
next
sir.
week.
Love you, sir.
Salamat,
Kumain ka na, ha?
Master.
Huwag ka magpapagutom.
Salamat,
Maraming
Master.
salamat. Kakain na ako. Nagugutom na ako.
Salamat, Master.
Okay, sige. Update na lang tayo sa sa group natin.
Salamat, sir.
Kay Ronel Repo.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Valorant tayo,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Valorant.
Valorant, sir.
Valorant.
Nag-i-stream ka, sir?
Hindi. Nagre-record lang.
Valorant.
Lol, sir. Nag-lol ka, sir?
Hindi ko nga alam yun eh.
League of Legends, sir.
League of Legends?
Ang Wild Rift, sir.
Hindi ako
Wild Rift
naglalaro
sa
niyan.
PC.
Dota 2 na lang, sir. Dota 2.
Dota 2, last year pa ako yung naglaro nun.
Walang choice, sir, ah.
Yun lang nilalaro ko pero matagal na ako hindi naglalaro nun.
Maangas na ngayon, sir.
Salamat, sir. Salamat, sir.
Thank you din.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.